South Sudan and be part of the conversation that matters. Subscribe now and join us for the stories that connect us all. Together, let's explore the heart of South Sudan. Welcome to Around South Sudan. You go to podcast for the stories that shape our nation. Each week we explore the most impactful headlines that are shaping the narrative in South Sudan. We delve into issues related to national development, peace building, politics, culture and economics. To stay informed and engaged, tune into Around South Sudan and be part of the conversation that matters. Subscribe now and join us for the stories that connect us all. Together, let's explore the heart of South Sudan. Welcome to Around South Sudan. You go to podcast for the stories that shape our nation. Each week we explore the most impactful headlines that are shaping the narrative in South Sudan. We delve into issues related to national development, peace building, politics, culture and economics. To stay informed and engaged, tune into Around South Sudan and be part of the conversation that matters. Subscribe now and join us for the stories that connect us all. Together, let's explore the heart of South Sudan. Welcome to Around South Sudan. You go to podcast for the stories that shape our nation. Each week we explore the most impactful headlines that are shaping the narrative in South Sudan. We delve into issues related to national development, peace building, politics, culture and economics. To stay informed and engaged, tune into Around South Sudan and be part of the conversation that matters. Subscribe now and join us for the stories that connect us all. Together, let's explore the heart of South Sudan. Welcome to Around South Sudan. You go to podcast for the stories that shape our nation. Each week we explore the most impactful headlines that are shaping the narrative in South Sudan. We delve into issues related to national development, peace building, politics, culture and economics. To stay informed and engaged, tune into Around South Sudan and be part of the conversation that matters. Subscribe now and join us for the stories that connect us all. Together, let's explore the heart of South Sudan. Welcome to Around South Sudan. You go to podcast for the stories that shape our nation. Each week we explore the most impactful headlines that are shaping the narrative in South Sudan. We delve into issues related to national development, peace building, politics, culture and economics. To stay informed and engaged, tune into Around South Sudan and be part of the conversation that matters. Subscribe now and join us for the stories that connect us all. Together, let's explore the heart of South Sudan. Join us for the stories that connect us all.
And you can't cross-link.
Go to podcast for the stories that shape our nation.
Hope you're having a great weekend and welcome to this edition, which is actually the 13th of March, the year 2026. And today we are privileged to be discussing about production in the country, locally produced goods in the country. And I'm glad to be joined today by producers and also entrepreneurs at the same time, and they'll be sharing with us the experience on how the business environment is like in South Sudan. As you know, that South Sudan is set to almost entirely be importing things from foreign countries, and oftentimes we have heard of prices of goods being very high, and of late there have been also cries of the public about prices of goods in the country. So today we look at the contribution of South Sudanese who have taken upon themselves to ensure that this country move forward in terms of producing goods locally. And I'm glad to be joined today by three guests in the studio, and I have Aja Jennifer Mayen, who is a co-founder of Yomi. Yomi actually produces sanitary pads, and she will tell us more about that. She will be discussing and sharing with us experience of how the business is going. I'm also next to Aja. That is on the left hand of Aja is Mali Simon Modi, is the managing director of Team V Trading and Investment Company Limited. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, the company produces sesame oil in Republic of South Sudan. Hope you have ever tested that, but we'll get to know. If you have not, of course, it's now the right time to know where you can find this product. And of course, next to Malays is Estella Andy, is a Public Relations Association of the South Sudan Manufacturers, and she will be here to tell us what this association has been doing to advocate for the welfare of the businesses that are locally instituted in the country. It's my pleasure having you aboard.
Thank you so much.
Yes, as I said, I'm really thrilled to be having and also talking to people who are trying their best to ensure that we have South Sudanese products that are locally produced and locally eaten.
Yes.
So let me start with you, Stella Andy,
Yes.
Public Relations Association of the South Sudan Manufacturers. So how do you find the business environment like today in the country?
Honestly, the business environment is something which is, it's up and down. It's everywhere in the world. It can never be a straight line that everything is smooth. Of course, there are challenges, and at the end of the day, it is just the resilience of you as a business person when it comes to how are you going to overcome the challenges. So right now, the business is really, I think my fellow guests here can attest, it's not an easy journey, but every time I tell the manufacturers that are here in South Sudan, that I represent the local producers, the people who are adding value to products, I just tell them it's not going to be like this forever. It's all about resilience and standing your ground. So I believe that with time, the business community are going to enjoy the economy, and it's going to be okay. Yes.
What is same question?
The business environment in South Sudan, I would say, it's always unpredictable. So it's like you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. What are the challenges that you will be facing, and all of that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that you don't have to venture into the business. So you go in it expecting anything to happen. Just like how a business person goes into the business with either to make profit or to make loss. But at the end of the day, he embraces whatever happens and learns from it and becomes part of the journey.
Why do you say that it's really unpredictable?
Yeah, because of it's unpredictable because there are many factors involved in the business. Because you have maybe the product you're bringing into the business, you have the demand of that product. Maybe what you're doing is not what is needed in the market. So you may find yourself bringing a product in the market with no buyers, so it becomes unpredictable. And also, I would say the other conditions like security, and then we look at the infrastructure as well. So most of these elements, they really print that picture of being unpredictable. Yeah.
Right. Aja, do you share the same?
I think my sentiments towards the business community in South Sudan, as you said, are very unpredictable, but these unpredictabilities or these factors that cause this unpredictableness is something that we as South Sudan can fix. So I think, I know people don't like the word resilient, but the business community in South Sudan is resilient because whatever is thrown at them, they thrive. So I think it's just something with due time, with policies put in place to help entrepreneurs, the South Sudan business could be flourishing within just 5 years.
Yeah.
So let's look at production itself, where you guys have been involved in. So you mentioned all these challenges that creates this unpredictability and trying to produce and also thrive. She said you guys thrive, you navigate through and you thrive. What do you actually do? What is the secret behind that? Despite the unpredictability, you're able to survive in the business. So, Malis?
Okay. Like you said, South Sudanese are resilient. So, and that is not just in terms of business. I believe it's a nature that we have grown up with. Looking at the places we've grown up, the wars and all of that. So you find yourself, you're trying to your best to do whatever you have to do to succeed in life. And so we have carried the same mentality, which is a good thing, into the business area. So when it comes to the production and the challenges that you may face, it's being advised even by those who succeeded in business that whatever you do, don't give up on your business. No matter the challenges you face, no matter the obstacles and all of that, find a way of how to navigate out of it. So I would say, for example, my own navigation would be different from hers in the business, because the challenges that are thrown at me in my business, it's quite different from hers. So at the end of the day, you have to first narrow down to the challenges that are thrown at you, and then find a way of how to navigate out of that. Yeah.
What do you say, Andy?
Just to pick up from what he has said, that different people, different businesses have their different challenges. The challenge a manufacturer, let's say Blessing Millers, that is producing multiple products, faces is different from, let's say, a Niue, that is a milling company that is only doing milling of maize flour, is facing. These are two different companies. So the bigger the company, the bigger, let's say, the problem could be. But a problem that is faced basically by a manufacturer and a small media enterprise, an SME or micro SME, these are all different problems. But just to add on what he said, it is all about resilience and passion. Do I have passion for what I'm doing? Okay, if I stop today, what is it? What's next? If it stopped, what's next? Am I solving a problem? So I feel like what I would say is that we have, just to add on what you said, we have been built to be resilient, in that with even all the challenges which have been thrown at us, with the challenges which have been thrown at the manufacturers, we're still producing. And even if they could be, let's say, working on a small on a small profit margins, you still have hope that, okay, with time things are going to be better. So it's better we push right now, because now if we stop, shall we stop producing here? who is going to stop producing here? Yeah. Who is going to start providing for us sesame oil? And also sometime is that with all these challenges, we also end up getting opportunities.
Exactly.
Yes. Because now you see that maybe there's an NGO that is looking for companies that are producing sesame oil. Like of recent, we had some of our members that are dealing in sesame that were helped with their production, that were helped to expand on their production. So it is because of their resilience they didn't stop, and then they get other opportunities. So yeah.
But resilient, is it a yardstick that we should always measure? But something has to be done about what actually pin down businesses, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. Say taxes. Just to give an example, like now for the manufacturers, now for the people who are producing, we have double taxes which have been let's say taxed twice, which could be multiplied. Now let me give a case study of an industrial license. You get it at a national level, and then you get it at a state level. So don't you think if that was applied to one, let's say all industrial licenses are gotten from the national level, and you don't need to get it from the state level, now that means that is reduced tax. That means, and me as a person who is going to venture into business, I don't need to pay something twice. I'll just have to pay it once. So I think these are some of the challenges. Also, let's say the security, and then the every day, I call them non-tariff barriers, because some of them are not, they're not documented. These are just everyday, charges and all that, which businesses face every day. You don't need to be a manufacturer. Even you open your shop, the people who will come to you, you get. So these are just some of these challenges that if maybe they're worked on, and if we pray that they're worked on, a lot of people will be encouraged to start up and then to join the business community. And we see in the long run, taxes are being increased, jobs are being created, and of course, once jobs are created, people's minds are kept busy. We don't have issues of insecurity because everyone has something to do for themselves. Yes.
Yes, Aja. So, what do you say? She cited a couple of challenges, I think, actually pinning down, entrepreneurs and manufacturers in the country. So, from your personal experience and as someone who's making what we call sanitary pads, so what is your exact experience when it comes to operating in this environment, South Sudanese environment?
Well, the experience has been quite harsh because, let's be honest, production of sanitary pads is not something that has been seen common in South Sudan. It's a new sector we are trying to break through. We are trying to bring these products that are very helpful to a lot of ladies. So it has been something that has been sort of tedious, but we have been just enjoying the experience because we want to know, is this business able to thrive within South Sudan, and if it has some loopholes, how can we change our production? Of recent, we actually started our production last year, and you know how every business has a hiccup. We kind of had that hiccup, I think, being junior entrepreneurs rushing into the market, so we had to take a sabbatical. So I think that is something that a lot of entrepreneurs do face. They say, I've had a lot of people saying, it's the operation within 1 year that lets you know if a business is going to live or die. So that is something that's really killed people. People get into the market without first understanding the challenges, and some of these challenges are you don't see them coming. You think you have settled everything, and then a challenge comes. So I think with the many challenges, insecurity, as she said, high taxation, inflation, these things do tamper with your operations as a business. But it's up to you to stop, re-strategize, and figure out how you can actually come back into the market stronger.
You must be having sleepless nights.
Sure.
Yes, Malis.
Yeah. Let me use our business as a case study in here. The challenges that had us almost pinned down was having a facility, because we're dealing with production. So with production, you need to have a physical place. We can't produce sesame oil using social media. You can't have a website to produce sesame oil. Like, these are two different things. So having a facility was one of the biggest challenges we ever had. We managed to get the machines, we managed to have the staff, but now having our own permanent place was an issue. But thank God, hopefully we overcome that challenge earlier on last year. And so now we have our own facility for production, where we do most of production. So during there was a period between when we had our own place and the period when we were renting. So we had to stop because the place where we were renting, there were some demarcations that happened, and almost half of the place was like on the road. So we literally had to dismantle the whole production facility. Mind you, during that time we have people already calling. So customers are demanding for the product, but then you're not producing, and the one you have in stock is not enough to cover for the whole market. So we had to really, at some point we had to stop, because we have nothing, literally. We have the raw materials, we have the machinery, but we don't have a physical place where we can do the production. So until we got the place now, that was our biggest relief. So from then on, we were able to produce like we produce normally 3 times a week because of also we are in a residential area, so and we're using machineries, so we're trying to avoid the noise factor for the neighboring and all of that. So we do that 3 times a week, but before that it had stopped literally. So these are some of the challenges that we faced that almost been, had we not have secured our own location, I don't know where we would be by now. So these are the things that pin us down.
So it's the same way oil can be produced on social media.
Exactly.
But again, you will need social media to make your product.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm trying to look at, because when you look at our market, it's like, if I am going to Konya, for instance, I'm basically going to buy something that is foreign, something imported from another country.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell whether South Sudanese products are really visible. Yeah. So can you guys tell us really how much do we produce? Especially, this question should come to you.
I actually did expect that question because everywhere I go, as long as I introduce myself from the manufacturers, like, Stella, what do you produce? We only know it's water. But now, I just want to use this means it's good that I got this opportunity, like to let people know that we don't only produce water in South Sudan. There are products you're consuming here in the country and you think it's imported, but these are products made in South Sudan. We have multiple products which are made from here. Of course, we have milling companies which are milling maize flour. We actually have the biggest milling factory here in South Sudan, but which is Prestige Millers, which is actually not being used because we have factors as factories. The raw materials, getting the maize is hard for them. Getting maize from Yambio, from Nimule, or from the nearby within South Sudan, Magui, it is quite more expensive compared to the maize they're getting from Uganda and Tanzania.
Really?
This is because of the security and the road network, and then the different stops, which I call non-tariff barriers, the different roadblocks. So if a manufacturer is to calculate their distance, you realize that it is quite expensive and it takes a lot of time. So let me just go to Uganda and get this maize and then mill it. So we're having
on a trailer.
Yes, put to the trailer and just bring it. So these are the challenges, but now for now, let me just tell you the products which are being done here, which are being produced from here. We have the maize, the millers I've already talked about. We have cooking oil. We have the sesame, as he had already talked about, detergents, soap, liquid soap. There's one which is already coming up with Omo. I think they're yet to start their, not Omo, but let's just say the Omo thing.
Toilet paper?
Yes, we do have toilet paper. We do have a company that is doing juice. We have several juice that is being made from here. We have energy drink. We have yogurt. We have snacks. We have mattress. 2 mattress factories mattresses that are being made from here. Water tanks, iron sheets. We have paints. These wall paints. EPS panels. EPS panels. This is a technology which has been developed. Instead of using bricks, use the EPS panels. It helps fasten with your building. You can build faster, and then it's cheaper, and it's let's say it's resistant to the weather. And then we also have, of course, the leather products. We have shoes which are being made from here, bags. We have honey, which we actually even export. We have shea butter, gum arabic, and we even have our local beer, which is made from here, and it goes to the States. So these are some of the products which are in the market, but we just consume it and we don't know they're made from here. Maybe it could be part of the publicity, but we are working on, as the manufacturers, to see how we come up with a campaign which already have a hashtag for Buy South Sudan, Build South Sudan, where we showcase what products are we producing so that people can know, and also change the narrative and the mindset of the citizens that we have products which are being made here. You're already eating it, but you just didn't know that it's being made from here. Yes, and I'm sure you're shocked from your
Are we
face.
guaranteed of the quality?
Definitely we're guaranteed of the quality because we work closely with the Bureau of Standards. We have products which are being certified, which have already been certified, and we have others which are already in the process of the certification. And no, certification is not a one-day thing. It takes a whole time.
Yes.
And when it comes to the Bureau of Standards, they are, of course, they've already, let's say that the staff's already being trained, and then we also have the equipments which are there, but sometimes they also need to take the products to another country, maybe to Uganda or Kenya because of maybe the equipment. But we have the companies that are willing to take the products for certification, because without certification you cannot be in the market, and without certification you cannot export your products. Now that's when it comes to the part of the Association of South Sudan Manufacturers, we took an initiative with a program called the Quality Champions, which has been funded by the ITC MACAP 2, where a group of South Sudanese, you have to be a South Sudanese to be under this. So a group of South Sudanese that have been trained. It was very intentional because we didn't want to bring someone from Kenya or Uganda. We wanted someone, youths from here, to be trained on what is called Quality Champion, the Quality Champion program, to help with the food safety and the lean aspect. So they have already been trained. So currently they are now working with the different companies, SMEs, MSMEs, to help them on their quality. Let's say he's producing sesame, we go and check what is it, what are the opportunities that your food is not safe. Is it the food safety things which are there, like processes that could cause hazard to the final consumer? Let's say the people putting on gloves, if you don't have, we train you. So the quality champions that have been qualified are being trained with all this, and then in return they take it back to the community, to the different SMEs, to train them for free. They're not, they don't pay, the companies don't pay. So once they're being taken through the training, then we go to the process of certification. So this is just a way of also putting more confidence in the citizens that yes, our products are good for the market. Yes.
I'm still interested to get first-hand experience in terms of you did mention that because of access challenge,
yes,
so manufacturers have to sort from neighboring countries.
Yes.
And I'm just looking at the cost of it. You said it's much cheaper because you can get to Uganda as quick as you can and get the materials,
yeah,
and produce whatever you want.
Yeah.
And in South Sudan, it's the opposite. Within your country, it's
yes,
more costly than when you import from outside.
Yeah.
So how do you compare your price, locally produced products, to finished products that come from neighboring countries? Like you're making sanitary pads, which are also being made in other countries and also being imported into South Sudan. So how do you compare this, given that you have to, I don't know whether you get your material from outside South Sudan or you obtain from within. So just look at that.
Yeah, I would say I'm one of those guilty people who bring raw materials from outside.
Which is okay, it's justified.
You see, the South Sudan market has certain gaps in sectors that it will not help other manufacturers. Like, for example, we do not have cotton millers where a lot of sanitary pads need cotton. In fact, the cotton is way over in Western Equatoria, and you don't see a textile or a company that will deal in trying to, I don't know what they call it, removing the seeds and filtering the cotton in so that it can be fine. It will be helpful for those who want to make clothes, those who want to make, even ask the sanitary pads company. So the absence of such sectors, it kind of causes us to look for these raw materials from outside. We're looking for cotton sheets, we're looking for gel absorbers that you put into the sanitary pads. So that does come to affect us and our production, and it was partly why we took a sabbatical, because we realized at the rate we are going, we are way worse than the imports. Someone's going to look at this, and it's something I've seen with a lot of businesses here in South Sudan. You look at something coming from Uganda, you look at something made from South Sudan, and something made from Uganda is way cheaper than something made from South Sudan.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
and people do struggle to at least put their prices at affordable prices, but also not eliminate their profit margin, which is very tough for a lot of businesses. So at the end of the day, what do businessmen want? They want profit. So that is obviously going to land on the necks of the consumers. And so just like how we struggle with pricing because the raw materials are not here and we have to import them, you have to come and make them here, you have taxation,
Yes.
illegal taxations here and there. So an already made product in Uganda is not going to have to add on to a lot, but if I'm bringing cotton from outside, they're taxing it. I have to pay, tax at the border, tax when I reach Juba, tax when, and then I'm going to reach there. I have to account for this money some way, somehow. So a lot of the issues, as he stated, the road issues, the taxes, they all come down to suffocate the manufacturer, where they have to decide whether am I going to be affordable or am I going to make profit. And that's how you see a lot of South Sudanese products are way more expensive than the imported products, and that's what's kind of encouraging people to continue just bringing imported products to South Sudan.
So what's your experience in that?
Okay, experiences are quite different when it comes to sourcing the materials. So basically we're dealing with sesame. So, and South Sudan is blessed, is considered one of the countries, I think number 5 in the world with the largest area for sesame seeds. So what we did in the first years, it was a bit difficult because we would have to like buy from traders here in Juba, and the traders, they buy from farmers back in the States, mostly grain. So the traders would give us at a very expensive price. But then we kept going until, and while during the process, we were trying to find how we can have what I would say network with the farmers, so that we just buy from them direct. And we have succeeded at that. So now we have some farmers who they produce or they cultivate knowing that we are going to buy. You see, so it cuts these middlemen of traders and all of that, and that also cuts the cost. So with that, we don't have issues. The only issues we have is the issue of security or roads, which, like I said, we have to still be resilient with that, because that's our country, what we're going to do. So we get those raw materials and then we produce locally. And when it comes to pricing, we do compare the regional markets in terms of the sesame oil, and because we are trying to penetrate the market, we say by all means will have to be a bit cheaper than the regional markets in terms of sesame oil. So right now, for example, I would say 200 ml of sesame oil in the international regional market would cost you about $3. But we are committed to selling 200 ml of sesame oil at $1.6. So there's a gap of difference of 1.4. So that way, if our product goes to the market, even the foreigners themselves, they would prefer to buy ours. And we have the advantage that we are 100% natural and pure. There are no additives, there are no chemicals added. It's just the raw material pressed and produced as oil. So with that, the customer, when he buys, he's not just buying oil, but he's buying, number one, the value, number two, the benefits that come with it, knowing that they are not going to get any side effects or going to be affected by the product. So I think that is one of the advantages that helped us to navigate the market till today. Yeah.
Now let's discuss these challenges. You mentioned taxes, the challenge, infrastructure, which I suppose include power, and also, land is one of the factors of production, which you said when you started your business, Malaysia, it was a big challenge because you had to rent, but now at least you have tried and found a place where you can do it, and that probably reduce the cost of production, and maybe also play a positive role on as you eat or consume your product. So As the Manufacturers Association, Stella, how do you normally address these challenges with the authorities, if it is to do with taxes and if it is to do with other challenges that you best know? So how do you normally address this? How do you normally address as an association?
Okay. All right. As I had mentioned, as we had mentioned earlier, definitely we have challenges. The big elephant are the taxes, because everyone is paying taxes. This is something which is big, which has been which is putting a lot of people down, which has made factories close. We have factories that have shut down and gone to open, have decided to relocate to Uganda, produce from there, and then and then bring it to South Sudan.
So some factories relocated?
Yes. We have factories that have relocated from South Sudan, are going to establish themselves in Uganda, and then they're now decided to bring products, finished products from here. These are basically because of the taxes, the electricity, and then let's just say the everyday charges and the security issues. Now when it came to
not having access to raw material.
Yes, not having access to raw materials. So when it came to the taxes bit, we realized that the manufacturers are paying double taxes. You're buying raw materials, like let's say she's bringing cotton, you're being charged there, you're taxed. At the end of the day, after producing everything, you're being charged excise tax, sales tax. So that is literally like double taxation. Yet if a company, her competitor from Uganda that is bringing sanitary towels, they're only charged once from the border, and once the goods enter, they don't have any other taxes, and they're not even adding value. Let's say they're not doing value addition, and there are no other expenses they incur when it comes. So what the association decided to do is, we did a research. We didn't go just to the parliament like that. We came up with a research, well evidenced research, that shows the taxes that are being paid by someone who is importing and someone who is manufacturing from South Sudan. So once that was done, and we presented it, and we said, look, this is what we're facing. Our competitors are being charged this, and we who are improving the country, we're paying taxes twice. We're employing people in the country, we're developing the infrastructure in the country, we're being charged this amount of money, which is going to make us, we're not going to have a favorable market when it comes to pricing. That means our pricing is going to be way expensive, and at the end of the day, even if it's me, when I go to Konyo and I see something which is cheaper, definitely I'm going for the cheaper one because I want to save. So once that was done, we came up, we were helped. So we decided that, okay, since it's the local manufacturers, you're going to be given exemption for raw materials. So right now, local manufacturers that are manufacturing in South Sudan, that are, let's say, now, because these are, we always talk about it, and also most of the times are the members of the association who are part of the association, and that is not the beauty of being in associations, is that they know that now once I'm producing, my raw materials are not going to be charged because this has been sorted already. So with this, it has reduced on their cost of production, and also at the end of the day, the government is also winning, because if you're to see now, the amount of taxes collected on the domestic tax has increased drastically because productions have increased. That means the production costs have slightly reduced, though not all. Of course, we still have other things, but we believe that with time, we keep on tackling one thing at a go. You can't ask for everything once. So when we're now working on how investors can be attracted more to come and set up factories in South Sudan. Let's say tax exemptions, because these are what our neighboring countries are doing. Tax exemptions. Let's say if an investor is coming to establish, let's say, a cement factory, for how long are you going to give them a tax holiday? So that's what we're doing currently. And then also what we do is also we lobby for trainings for SMEs. So our focus sometimes is also most on the SMEs, because these are the foundations, these are the people who are going to grow into big companies. We train them on how are you supposed to, like, let's say now on the packaging, what is the standard for packaging, let's say for particular products, what are the requirements for you to export your product. And we were so happy that one of our members went for the Juakali, that is called the East African Juakali. It's yearly. Last year, I think it was, the other year it was held here in South Sudan, but last year it was held in Nairobi. They got an award for being the best exhibitor. So with this type of success stories, what it is, she produces tea leaves. She has tea leaves soap, liquid soap. So she had all the requirements. She had the quality mark was there. Her packaging was okay. So with all these things, it gives us, like, it was encouraging to see that a member, a lady, she's a lady who is producing from South Sudan, won an award for being the best exhibitor. So these are some of the things we're trying to instill, not only on the factories, but also on the small SMEs, because this is the future at the end of the day. Yes.
Right. So Aja, yes, you guys have explained quite a lot in what you're doing, and in terms of delivering in the market. And do you also export?
At the moment, no, we don't. We are trying to, instead of exporting, we're trying to reach all the 10 states of South Sudan. You know, a lot of people do produce and focus only on Juba, but people have to understand South Sudan is not only Juba. There is a billboard where, so I think before we jump the gun and say we want to export, let's try to look at the available markets within different states.
So basically the objective is to ensure that you strengthen the economy.
Yes.
Because the country has been relying so much. And why do we import when we can do it here? And you're saying is until we satisfy our market, then we will go beyond the borders. But Malaysia is thinking otherwise. He wants to penetrate East African market.
Not necessarily. We are not yet importing, exporting. But it's in plan, and I'm really thanking God for this conversation, because I think after here we will have to talk with Stella on the, actually earlier on I was speaking with my co-founder, and we were talking about how we have to secure the Q mark for exportation this year. So it's now one of our main agenda this year. So we have been producing for more than 2 years, and I miss the exhibition she was talking about because of this one requirement, the Q mark. So once you have that, you can be able to move around all East African countries, and then eventually we go to the ISO, which is now internationally recognized. So yes, we have plans to export probably this year. I don't know where the exhibition will be, but
it will be in Rwanda.
Rwanda, I'm coming there. So that's the plan, and definitely we'll get to all the states, just like she said, where possible, because some states are out of reach, and the ones that we can reach to them, we will definitely be able to send our products. Yeah.
Okay. So you've heard from him, and what is your response?
Definitely, he's right. A lot of companies tend to miss an opportunity because of a simple thing, which is the quality mark. Because for you to export, you need to have a quality mark. For your product to leave, even to just cross to Elegu, which is the other side of South Sudan, you need a quality mark. These are some of the things people don't know. It's not about taking your product from here to Kenya to another country, but different countries have their own, regulations when you're taking a product to them. But the most important thing is to have a certified product. So with that, you can easily penetrate the market. And sesame is something which is something which is very much needed. It's organic, and it's even expensive. And the fact that he's doing it at 1.6 and the world market is $3, then he should take it very seriously, because that is a market gap. Because everyone at the end of the day wants a cheaper product, but the same product, but you can get it cheaply. So that would be something you should really explore, and I think it will do you good. But this year we shall have the exhibitions in Rwanda. It usually, the date has not been confirmed yet, but the country has been picked. It will be Rwanda. But definitely, as I said, you're going to keep in touch with me. I'll definitely keep you on the loop.
Sure.
Yes.
I have not seen the machines you guys are using. How they look like, and were they also South Sudanese made, or you bring them from, you import from other countries and install them? Let me ask the two of you. Any of you can take them.
Ladies first, or?
I think the gentleman can explain.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you. Our machines are not produced here. They're not manufactured here. They're imported, unless someone has to come up with an initiative to be able to produce these machines, which would be a very good venture. But we are importing most of our production machines. Actually, we're looking for a second machine to back up our production, because we're seeing that this year and the next 2 years ahead, the demand is going to be 2 times higher. So we'll need more than 1 or 2 machines. So, but for us to get that, we're going to definitely get it from other countries like China maybe, or other countries that produce that. So we don't have a business or a company that produces the machines that we need. Yeah.
Yeah, I think my answer is similar to his. I have not seen a company that's producing this kind of machineries. Right now, Yomi is using somewhat that's not a big machinery. Our production is still skimmed and small, but we have intentions of expanding it so that we can meet the market demands, and maybe one way or another, if it's not the machine, we want to see a way of actually sourcing our raw materials, because if you actually look into it, in Western Equatoria, there's flourishing growth of cotton, and something that could be actually not only good for us as a business, but also good for those people who are growing this cotton, because right now, if you look at the market, no one's using this cotton, it's just staying there at home. So it's something that we are looking into doing, and then we'll just continue working, and maybe by the end of the year we shall be able to fulfill our plans. But right now we are still importing, sadly, both our machine as well as our raw materials.
So how would you describe the stage at which manufacturers have reached in South Sudan? Matured?
No, growth, still in growth.
We're still growing, we're still growing, because you know, in every country we have necessary goods. Let's say the basic things that we need to at least produce in our country. We need things like cement, because we're constructing every day here and then, which we still don't have. Sugar factories. We take tea. We are a tea-taking company. A country. We still don't have sugar. With hopes that we're picking up that, because previously we only had water companies that are being produced. The Manufacturers Association was established in 2022, but by then we had countable, let's say 3-4 companies, factories that are just doing products outside water. But by today you can see the products I've told you, they have expanded. People have kept on, you know, setting up. Even the water companies were few, now they are expanding. So let's just say we are still in the crawling stage, but we believe with it's all about growth. So I'm seeing that in the next 10 years we shall have, you know, that it will have started now, let's say, taking steps and picking up. So we're still a baby, so they should charge us on a baby rate. We're still children.
So, if you guys are to be supported and be able to, because a child also needs to be
definitely
fed well to be able to
yes
at least to walk to start crawling and even walking so fast. Not like after 2 years. There are children who crawl because they have not gotten the nutrients they need in their body. So what support would you, if you're given or you're accorded by the government, you think manufacturers will change the trajectory in the country?
Okay. The first thing that will make the whole turn is electricity. Because right now, all the factories, and I think he is running on a generator.
Exactly.
We are running full time on fuel. So with the new fuel rates, you see how things are going, and even cars are being parked. So if a car is being parked, now imagine that factory, how is it suffering? How much is it consuming in a day? What is the production it's doing? So the thing, if there is one thing that we really pray that the government could help on, is number one, that is the electricity. Because this is something that all manufacturing thrive, even anything that does with production, we need electricity. Then after the not alone the electricity, we also need on tax exemptions, we need tax holidays. We have investors, we even have our own South Sudanese who want to set up something. They want to come up with, we have a lot of entrepreneurs. If you go and ask someone, what would you like to start? They will tell you, oh, I would love to start this and this and this. But the issue is, in the long run, you will find out that even the money you planned to, let's say, to start up your business could just be in just obtaining, let's say, the permits.
Yep.
You know, getting permits, registering your company, yet that could be, let's say, money that you are looking as capital to start a business. So if tax exemptions were given, electricity power is provided, and then also what I would wish for and pray for very much is the will to promote Buy South Sudan, Build South Sudan hashtag, like promoting the local producers, encouraging more of the local production, and just promoting our products within the country alone, because there is no way there is no way that I can take my product to another country if it's not appreciated in my country. She cannot take her sanitary towels to Uganda or Nairobi if it's not appreciated here. As she says, she cannot take it to another country. So that's what we wish for.
So, Aja, in terms of power, are you also using generator?
Yeah, I think if you want to run on GENCO, you are going to cause yourself issue, because you see the issue is GENCO itself is high. There's a taxation on it, and the price they charge so highly. So, and then the abruptness. So recently there was where the power was not there, then it was there. So for a manufacturer to have this inconsistency with power, you have to have a generator to help you, so that when the main lights go off, you can't stop production. I can't stop producing the sanitary midway because electricity has gone off. It's going to ruin the product. So a lot of even if just a small shop, you find salons in the market, they have generators. That just goes to show how important power is to almost not only manufacturers but almost every business in South Sudan.
Right. So what about the fuel price recently?
The fuel prices, they will keep increasing until a certain point where the government has to step in, because all this comes down to taxation. Even the fuel prices are rising because of taxation. And I feel like it's something that is concerned with there is no mandate or correct mandate that people are following to pay the taxes. You find at the border we are paying Crawford, on the road we are paying just checkpoints. You get here, you have to reach here and also pay city council
without receipts.
Without receipts, and you still have to go to revenue authority and pay these people the taxation for your permits.
With the
they are coming for the Wasaka on this day. So it's so complicated. So what I feel like is, for these taxations to go down, you can say tax exemptions, but if there's a disorganized system of collecting taxes, even a tax exemption will not help a business.
Really?
So we have to organize our tax collection. If they are saying it's a private entity collecting the taxes, well and good, let it be one person. If it's city council collecting the taxes, let city council be the one to collect the taxes. But when there's confusion, you have the businessman here. I cannot defy the National Revenue Authority, I cannot defy Border Patrol, I cannot defy city council. That's going to put me in an issue. So for taxation to come down, we have to have a sort of understanding with the government where it's an organized system. So me as a business, when it comes down to paying taxes, I know who I'm paying, so that when I'm writing down your planning for your books, you say, okay, this is going down into taxes on this day or this day. So that now when city council comes in the middle there, you have the right to say, well, I've already paid my taxes. So that's the need for that organized system will help at least taxes to be regulated, and businesses will not have to hike their prices or increase their prices like fuel to, sort of make even their business.
Okay, on the support, I would like to say it in two ways. There are two kinds of support, according to me: an external support and internal support. External support are some of the things you mentioned: electricity, taxation, road networks, infrastructure. That is the external support. And if these things are done, it automatically affects the internal support. Because, for example, people are eager, or investors are eager to come to South Sudan, but the environment is not convenient for them. The security aspect, the inconsistency in taxations, and also the aspect of what I would say, the electricity, all these things. These are things that if the government would sort it out, the government doesn't have to think about in the small investors, or the SMEs, because people will be flooding in with all types of businesses and companies, and it would even boost the employment rate. Many people will be employed. So if you look, for example, like at Ethiopia or Kenya, they are more open to investors. So you find someone, when they want to come to Africa, there are some key countries that would like to come to. Why? Because the government have made the country conducive, welcoming enough in terms of infrastructure, electricity, and all of that. So these are one of the areas that I would wish the government will look into, the external support. And the internal support definitely comes to financing the SMEs, or the young entrepreneurs who are trying to navigate through. This is something that they need. I saw a video, I think some time back, where there was a guy who was cycling on a highway. Then a car came, and all that car did was just to push him from behind. So he was already on the move, but the moment he was given that little push, he went at a very high speed. So sometimes all of us, all we need is just a little push. Just a little push of some money or some funds on all of that, and we will just go on like the heights we would reach will be unimaginable, because the nature that we have, if we get the support that we need, we'll be competing, or we will be even beating all the other countries in East Africa or regionally. Yeah, that's what I think.
Right. I understand there was confusion around which model of taxation should be adopted, because there was confusion between digital payment, and there was also cash payment. And I understand this has been resolved, and that's why we're seeing now good reason coming in. So, but which system has actually been working better for you guys, the tax collection system?
When it comes to a tax collection system, what has been working good has been the digital, which is bank transfers. Because when it comes to the bank transfers, you see there's traceability, there's accountability, and there's transparency, and it's easy. And with the rate, with the fluctuations we have, and the producers literally work on the money which is being provided by the public. That means the 100 notes, the 50 notes, the 20 notes. So imagine you're paying tax of, let's say, 6 million or 3 million. How many sacks are you going to carry to the bank to take it physically with cash? But when it comes to the digital, the transfers, it has been seamless. It has saved them time, and also when it comes to security, it makes sense, and it's much more better. So for the producers, the manufacturers, also for the SMEs, to them, I actually had a call with them just to understand from them today what really works for them. To them, it's the digital, the bank transfers is much more better, seamless and faster. Yes.
Yeah, I would also add on that. Globally, that's the best system for not just business, any transaction. But with our case in South Sudan, I think one of the things that led to it not being effective enough is, I would say, maybe the financial literacy part, because not everyone in South Sudan understands how to use the digital system of cash flow and all of that. So you see, and MTN has tried to come up with more initiatives and all of that, but still it's like we need to do more on educating the South Sudanese that this is the new trend that is working currently. With that, it will be able to help, because, for example, I may want to pay taxes using digital systems, but then now if I go to a trader whom I want to buy from them some products, and they would tell me I don't have a bank account, so I just need cash. So you see, there's a problem here. So I'll have to be forced to go and withdraw money, put it in sacks, which is very insecure, and bring it to this person just for the business to continue. So the people's illiteracy area has also affected that the digital system doesn't work. I've been, for example, to Nairobi, and I've seen how the digital cash flow is working, and it's really amazing. Like, if you don't have cash, it's fine. You can still, life goes on and everything is fine. But here in South Sudan, you don't have cash, you have money in your momo, nobody cares. It's like you're broke. Like, you don't have money and all of that. So it also works with the level that people are being educated or aware on how to use the digital systems. I think for us, most of us, they say, oh, these things, what if the banks close? So people are having this mistrust that if you take your money to the bank and then tomorrow something happened, they just close, so your money is gone. So that's one of the things that contributing to people not using the digital systems, which at the end of the day, it affects the whole country, including those who are involved in the digital system. Yeah.
Ajan, any viewpoint?
Yeah, I think when we look at using the cash system and the digital system, South Sudan has always been a cash economy. You have to have money in hand to get products.
I feel it.
It's always like that. But with any economy has to evolve. As he said when he went to Nairobi, it's not a must. You have to have cash in hand. At a time, there was a time when M-Pesa was struggling.
Exactly.
The same way
like Momo
was struggling. So I think it's more so not just about people's mindset, but as businesses we have to be able to adapt this thing, because let's say I'm a business owner or I'm a shopkeeper and I say, yeah, you can bring Momo, and then you have people who will continue it. The system becomes infectious. And the great thing about using digital system, it kind of reduces inflation, because cash moves within the system. It's moving here, it's moving there. You do not have to hoard cash at home. So that thing where they hoard cash at home, then next thing you know, there's no money, then the next thing you know, people are printing again. So it's something that would be destroying a very toxic system that South Sudan has kind of created for itself. So yeah, on that side, I feel like it has to land on the government to be able to create policies where people are able to trust these systems. If I want my money, I get my money. So if I have that trust that I'm going to get my money, the reason why people don't use Momo is because when I want my money, I can't get my money. But if I want my money, I can get my money. Obviously, when Momo was first introduced, people were so friendly with the system because they know I can get my money at some point in time. But when the system started, like, you cannot access your money, that's where now the fallout came with the digital system, because it was running smoothly the first 2 months when it was introduced. So I feel like it's right now we need a hybrid system where people can still trust that I can have my money in hand when I need it, but also I have this flexibility of just buying the good with the digital cash. So with that ease, we can easily ease into the system where we are now familiarized with the digital system, and it will flourish like the M-Pesa of Kenya.
I will also add on that for this system to be effective. I think the government authorities, they have to take the first lead or initiative in that. Momo is trying their best to really push the idea and all of that. But I'm trying to think, what if the government says now there are some institutions where payments are only done using digital systems. For example, if you want to pay for school fees, every school must have a bank account. And it's a must. So, and if you don't have it, there are some maybe, I don't know, rules to deal with that and all of that. So this way, people will be forced, because with schools, you have kids, you have brothers that you have to pay for. So you are obliged to go and have a bank account and now pay through the digital system. And then all the other areas where the government can have a voice or authority over to enforce it. Then it becomes now an obligation for every South Sudanese to adapt easily to the systems. But now where we have instances where even in government offices or in government institutions, payments are not done through digital systems, and they say bring cash, then it just discourages everyone and be like, there's no need for that. So if the government endorses the idea and pushes it forward, it would have more effect.
Interesting point. I think we have come to the end of this discussion, but maybe some takeaways and also a message to the viewers and South Sudanese. Maybe you have a message to the government. Let me start with you, Aja.
My message to the entrepreneurs out there is just like how we said in the beginning, the resilience. You have to be resilient to be able to thrive in this harsh condition. You know, South Sudan is a harsh economy to thrive in, but it takes strong skin to get there. There was no economy that was built within a day. There were relapses. You had people whose economy plain out failed, but they got back up because people were willing to put in the work. And my message for the government is people, all the citizens of South Sudan can only succeed if the government is willing to give a helping hand. That helping hand could be tax exemption. It could be a policy put in place so that we know what we are doing. It could be civic education so that people can know their responsibilities. Let's say I'm a business owner. A lot of business owners don't know how they're supposed to pay tax. These ladies who sell tomatoes on the road, they don't know how they're supposed to pay tax. So a city council comes and says, bring 5,000, and then you are told you have to pay taxes here, so it's confusing. So the government needs to come in and try to teach people this is how you're going to pay your taxes, and even tell us where our tax money is going, so that it can encourage people to this. And you know, from a few years from now, we can see growth in our economy.
Interesting. Yes, Malis.
Okay, I think I have two messages. When it comes to nation building, I read somewhere where it says tough times produce strong men. So I think South Sudan is in that era of tough times, that we have to be producers strong, because many South Sudanese are so disappointed in their own country, and they would prefer to relocate to another country just because of the challenges they face. But at the end of the day, if all of us relocate, then who's going to build the country? So we still have to try our best and push forward and make sure that this will be a better home for our kids, where if we have to go for vacation, no one should think of going to Uganda or Kenya. Someone should just think, okay, vacation, we're going to Eastern Equatoria or Western Equatoria, somewhere within South Sudan. And that itself affects the economy because the cash flows within the country, you see. So this is one message. The second thing is the government, of course. The youth are trying their best, but they would need a support. They would need support. So if the government can be able to come up with initiatives, platforms that will be able to push the young entrepreneurs to be able to come up with the ideas and businesses that would thrive the country, it would really be of great help. So that's my message.
Right, Andy, rather.
It's okay. For me, what I would request on the behalf of the producers is the harmonization of taxes. It's just to add on what she said, the harmonization of taxes, a system where we know that taxes can be collected by one entity. If it's the National Revenue Authority, let it be the National Revenue Authority, so that we as the entrepreneurs, we plan and we know that what is being produced, or what taxes are we going to pay at what time and at what specific time. Then the other agencies can now be just implementing to come and confirm, did you pay your tax or did you pay this, just to come and get receipts, and also have a more digitalized payment system, because we have scenarios whereby you'll find that your tax, you say they charge a company, you have to pay 3 million, but of course now you have to now go through the bargaining process until you reach, these are all because taxes have not been harmonized. There are no harmonized rates, when it comes to the payment. So I would request that we have harmonized taxes that will help to reduce. And also what I would also request for is also to have to really look at the issue of electricity. When it comes for an economy to grow, we need producers to boost the economy. So because of if electricity is brought closer for the producers, like my colleague here, she has pads, but she needs electricity to maybe increase on her efficiency. She has plans of producing, expanding to the different states, but if electricity is not there, if the taxes are not harmonized, so that she doesn't need to have a lot of roadblocks to go to Yei to supply, to go to WOW, to go to different states to supply her pads. If that is not done, it will be hard for her to do. So all I could request for is a harmonized tax system, and then we have to look in the issue of electricity. Yes.
Thank you so much indeed. Stella Andy, Public Relations at the Association of South Sudan Manufacturers. Thank you for the insight. And I have learned a lot what the manufacturers are doing today. And somehow it has changed my perception about the manufacturers in South Sudan. People often talk about we talk about manufacturers, but today I've seen it. I can see it visibly in my mind through his work that he has mentioned. Now we have sesame oil, now we have sanitary pads. One day we'll be able to visit and see that this is South Sudanese one. And I think the South Sudanese young people like us will need to stand together, support one another. Not only what he said, producing using the machines, but also on a platform like this. And we'll keep having this conversation running. Thank you so much, Malis, Simon, Jennifer. All I can say, wish you well in your business endeavor, and we look forward to having you again in future. When you come back, we will be seeing progress. And dear viewer, thank you so much for having stayed glued to this broadcast. We look forward to having them in future, but next week we'll be having another edition and discuss matters that shape the nation. Thank you and have a lovely weekend.
Thank you.